Hello. I haven't done one of these in a bit since October. Of course, I did the Inktober stuff, so I was just like, I took some time off. I was just like, I just need to refocus, revitalize. I had to work on the sketchbook stuff. I'm still waiting on Amazon to approve it. It's kind of weird because normally they approve it in a day or so. For some reason, it hasn't gone through the approval process yet. I may have to email some people. But anyway, by the title, as you can tell, this is my story of getting to meet Stan Lee. And I think I've already done a video where I kind of talked about it, but of course, with him passing away Monday, I felt like I really kind of needed to retell the story, but talk about some other things that I may not have shared in the other video. So, anyway, this is me kind of sharing, and I'm drawing a little caricature of Stan the Man in a way I think would do him honor. And so there we go. So anyway, in about 2014, I went to a Comic Con called Comic Palooza that's in Houston, Texas. For those of y'all who know the area or have been in that con before, pretty big deal. It's one of the biggest cons in Houston area all year long. And they have several smaller cons, of course, during the year, but Comic Palooza is probably the biggest. But anyway, so this particular year, back in 2014, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had really taken off. I think they were filming the second season at the time. And so they were all, like, all the people, I think there was the whole cast of the first season was there at the con. But here's the thing that's funny. I don't have cable. So I never really, watched the show. So I really didn't know what was going on in the show. I knew that they kind of did the link from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to the second Avengers movie. But I really hadn't, caught up to it beforehand. So anyway, so I ended up going to this con, and as I was going there, I saw that like Stan Lee was going to be there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, then to get in line just to see the man, it was like 150, $200, I think, to get in line. It might have been $100 to see him. And then I believe it was like, another, depending on what you were getting signed, it's like another $150, $200 could have been, I think the prices started at $50 and went up based on what was getting signed. Like if you just had a book, I think it was an extra 50. If it was an omnibus, it was more. It was a lot of based on weight. Well, anyway, so of course, I'm like, there's no way I could ever afford that. There's no way I could ever do that because I don't have that kind of money, to where I could spend it. I mean, I understand it would have been worth it, but I just didn't have it at the time. So I went and I cosplayed as Nick Fury because, well, I didn't have a whole lot of time to put a cosplay outfit together. And I figured eye patches. I could wear a rocket eye patch. Of course, nobody tells you that when you rock an eye patch, your peripheral vision is off horribly. I'm pretty sure I ran over a kid or two because I couldn't see properly. Nobody tells you how eye patches work and how it's like you have an eye patch on and your peripheral vision you're only seeing a very little bit of actual space, and then the eye patch that I had was a medical eye patch, so of course it had the little hole where the eye slot was, where there's a little preventative hole they put in there for light. Well, of course, if you can't see, it's not going to affect you because your eye's not darting toward it. The problem is when you can see, your eye is always constantly trying to get light in it. So what happens? Of course, I'm going through trying to get this thing going. And then all of a sudden, it's like my eye just kept darting to that one little spot of opening in the eye patch. So I was constantly disoriented. So there'd be points where I had to literally go sit down just because I was dizzy just walking around. So anyway, I was leaving the gaming area because I had some real good friends who were there in the gaming area. They were doing some gaming and stuff. They were playing HeroClix and different things like that. But again, since I got there late, I couldn't participate in that tournament. So I just was walking around, checking them out, saying hi, seeing how things were going, catching up with them. Well, there's this guy comes running up just randomly, and he's just like, hey, Nick Fury, Nick Fury. Now, of course, the thing about Nick Fury, you have to understand, there is like, Nick Fury then was kind of what Harley Quinn became right after Suicide Squad came out, because everybody and their mama was cosplaying Harley Quinn, but a lot of people were cosplaying Nick Fury that could. And anyway, so this guy kept yelling for Nick Fury. Of course, I'm sitting there, I'm not turning around. There's at least 5 of us, people cosplaying as Nick Fury, all walking down this hallway. And the only thing he could finally do was like, Nick Fury with the orange and green gun. Because there I had an orange and green gun. 'Cause I literally went to the store on the day of the con to get my stuff for it. So I didn't have time to go get a gun and paint it and do all that stuff that pros do. So I just basically went with what I could get. Well, I did. And of course, as soon as I heard orange and green gun, I was like, well, I think I'm the only one here with one of those because most everybody else kind of had time to really plan. And I didn't. But anyway, so I kind of turned around. I was like, are you talking to me? He's like, yeah, somebody wants to see you in the convention hall. I said, well, what, deal is it? They're like, it's the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel. And I was like, okay, I've never seen the show. I really don't have any interest in it. He says, yeah, but I can't tell you who wants to see you, but you got to come. You just got to do it. So I was like, okay. So I kind of went, again, not knowing what was going on, not knowing what was happening. And mind you, everybody that was with me at this con was about 8 of us that went together. And they were all talking about, man, I wish I could see Stan Lee. I wish I could meet Stan Lee. I wish I could stand in line and say hi or thank you or something. But I can't because it costs too much. Well, anyway, fast forward a little bit. And of course, mind you, this is a panel I didn't want to go to. I had no interest in going. But then as soon as I got sat down good, this guy's running around again, and they got the local radio station, and they're like, hey, just to let y'all know, this is Q&A. You're going to get to ask the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. any question you want to ask them. No question is too crazy. You just got to ask it and have it. You don't come up here if you don't have a question ready because we're going to boo you off the floor if you do. So, of course, I'm just sitting there, again, had no idea who, quote, wanted me there. And all of a sudden, this guy who brings me in is like, where's the Nick Fury guy? 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 And finally, I'm sitting there going, I hope he's talking to me, talking about me. Because, again, we're at the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel. I'm hoping that he's talking about me. So I was like, yeah, I'm over here. He's like, oh, yeah, come on. So, of course, we get up there. He's like, hey, you got a question, right? I was like, yeah, sure. And I made up one on the fly. And I'll tell you the question I asked in a minute. So anyway, I get up there and I'm waiting. I'm in line with a bunch of different people. And they're all like, oh, hey, good costume, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. All sort of stuff. Next thing I know, I got a tap on my shoulder. And I said, tap on my shoulder happens. I turn around and I don't even get to really see the person who tapped me. I just hear, nice costume, bub. And I look down and it's Stan Lee. Now, people say, well, why didn't you get a picture of this moment? First of all, he was on his way up to the stage. He had not made it public that he was actually going to show up at the panel. So people didn't know he was going to do it. The only people that knew he was going to do it was his agent, of course, and a couple other people. Lou Ferrigno being one of them. Why do I mention Lou Ferrigno? One, because he was the Incredible Hulk for the TV show. And that comes into play in about a second. So anyway, I'm, sitting up there and I'm just geeking out. I can't speak. I finally get the words out quickly. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you for all you've done for comics. He says, no. You guys are what keep it alive. And so he just kind of walks off. He's like, I got to get on stage. Well, of course, I'm not going to interrupt Stan Lee while he's getting on stage. But then Lou Ferrigno pops up behind him. Now, Lou and I say Lou, it's not like he would probably remember. I would think, this guy would never remember me. Back in 2007, I went to a Comic-Con in Dallas. And Lou Ferrigno was literally just kind of sitting there by himself. As he's sitting there by himself, he was just at the table. And I had a moment where I was at the con and I wasn't working. I actually worked as a volunteer judge for HeroClix that year. And so I went in, and as I was there, and I got to talk to Lou Ferrigno, and Lou and I are just talking for a while, about 25 minutes. And the next thing I know, he's like, hey, brother, I got to send you off, man. I know we're talking, it's a good time. I said, well, no, I really wish I could get an autograph from you or something, but man, we've just had a good conversation. He says, no. He said, that conversation was great, brother. Don't worry about it. And so we just kind of talked and left. Well, then Lou kind of popped up, and he was like, hey, brother, don't I remember you from Dallas? So, yeah, we talked at Dallas at the Wizard World Con back then. He's like, yeah, man. He said, it was a real good time talking to you, man. He said, it's great to know you. He said, glad you're still doing this. I'm glad you're still doing the comic book thing and everything. I said, yeah, kind of a geek. And so, of course, at this point, he's like, well, hey, I got to go catch up with Stan. I said, man, no, go catch up with Stan. Because again, it's like if you have a choice to hang out with Stan Lee or hang out with a guy that nobody knows you hang out with Stan Lee. And so anyway, of course, at that point, everybody in line at that point was just like, did you just talk to Lou Ferrigno? Did you just get Stan Lee to congratulate you on your cosplay outfit? And I was like, yeah. They're like, who are you? I was like, I'm just a dude who's a fan of this stuff like everybody else. So that's all I am in that regard. But anyway, I just think it's really cool that you had a person like Stan Lee who touched on so many things. He really did. He really was. As far as a lot of characters that he did, as far as a lot of the characters Jack Kirby, and a lot of other people created, and that spoke not just to the land of comics and fantasy and all that stuff, spoke a lot to the culture. A lot of people don't realize that, like Stan Lee was one of the ones that actually had a big hand in, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were big in the creation, and Joe Simon, I believe, were big in the creation of Black Panther. And one of the greatest accomplishments Stan Lee said he ever witnessed was getting the chance to see Black Panther do so well in theaters. And I saw a post the other day, somebody put up, man, I really hope that Stan Lee got a chance to see the final draft of Avengers 4. But if you hear Mr. Lee tell it, his greatest accomplishment was seeing Black Panther do so well in theaters. So I don't know if he's got a regret in that regard. I think he may be like, well, I saw one of my creations that a lot of people didn't think I should have done do well in theaters. He's probably good with that. But anyway, so this is my picture to Stan. This is kind of my tribute to him. And so to close off this very awesome, I hope, very awesome little video, I just want to send it off the way he would, with the simple word, Excelsior. Take care, guys. Be blessed. Be a blessing to other people. Be a blessing to somebody, guys.